Hey crafty friends, what's better than one chicken? Well, what about 3 fabulous hens that are dressed up and ready to party? I'm going to show you how to make this cute card that you can use for any event. I'm using it for a birthday party, but it's so cute. It's got these chickens that are ready to go. So let's get started and make this whimsical birthday card. Look at all the dies here. There are so many, and at first it can look overwhelming, but I've kind of broken it down in the video working on each section, and you're going to see how I came up with this cute card. These little hens are so cute. I love making the little hats, the umbrella, and I think my favorite though are the little eggs in the basket. And I've got some little extras that I can make other supplies with this. But let's get to work making this card. And if you're interested in the die to make these little hens, I'm going to include it in the description below. And you can use this discount code also, and you'll get a nice little discount. So let's get started. So with all the different dies that come with this set, I needed to decide what colors I was going to use. So these being hens, I went with a yellow for the hens, and then just started cutting all the different pieces out a little at a time so it wasn't so overwhelming. So I'm going to go with the body of the hens at the moment, and that includes the little feet, the feathers. We're going to go also with the little beaks and that sort of thing. So I'm also now getting into the clothing, and to me that's really the fun part, picking out what color the little dresses will be and the aprons and that sort of thing. I really was made use of my little pick tool, getting these tiny little pieces. There were even little cutouts for the black dots of the eyes, but those were so small for me. I just put the little black sheet behind the little eye holes. I also thought it would be good to add a little bit of inking around the bodies here of the hen, and I took my little sponge and then used a different colored yellow to really try to get those edges to pop out. Now I'm going to put the dresses and the aprons together on the hen here. I love this one with the little ruffle that pokes out, and then each of the little pieces have little collars that go with the outfits. There's just so much that is here and just makes these so realistic looking. I decided to put a little bit of stitching with markers around this particular apron. And there's a couple of I think there's also a cutout that comes a little pocket that you can add to one of the aprons. I didn't use it here, but that is also a very cute thing that could be added. But there's a lot of different things that you can go with here. I'm just kind of going with the white aprons, putting a little bit more of the sponging around the feathers of the hen. Now this was my favorite part. I loved this little basket. It has a little slit that you can take the eggs and make them appear to be inside the basket. I love that. If you'll notice here, I cut out the tannish color eggs that I actually went with. I cut those out with some old document paper that I have. It gives it almost a brown speckled look in person. But I also had to cut out the little blue eggs. I just love all the different colors of real natural eggs, but I went with this brownish tan to include for the card that I was doing today. So I get those all in their little basket, and my hen that's going to be in the middle is going to be holding this basket. So I'm going to place that down, and that is one thing you have to think about as you're placing these different pieces, and you can take a lot of liberty how you want to do the decorations, do the hats, that sort of thing. But like holding this basket, I want to put that down, and then I'm going to place the little feathers there, the hands or the arms, to be looking like holding the basket, right? So now we're going to put the last hen's outfit together. Each of the hens have different aprons, and I went with a light blue marker to do some stitching and put a little stitched heart on this apron. I thought, let's see what that looks like, and I think it turned out really cute. This hen is actually turned a little bit to the side, And it comes with an umbrella, so I'm going to have this hen hold the umbrella. That's why I didn't put a hat on her, and she's going to be covered up from the sun with her cute little umbrella. So I get all those pieces together. I'm going to use one of my Copic markers. I think that's R30. I like to use that to give a little coloring on the cheeks for the little animals. Then I'm going to take the base of my card, just a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I make this blue piece just a little bit smaller than that. I have this piece of green that I have cut before using my crimper and my scissors that do the multi-shear scissors, and I'll put a link to those below. I wanted to give this green grass appearance for our little hen to be outside, and I wanted the blue sky in the background. I'm going to do a little bit with that here in just a moment when I get my hen placed exactly how I wanted. Now, I'll be honest with you, when I first put this together, I was thinking I was going to do a slimline card. And when I laid the pieces out, it just didn't work with what I wanted to do with this particular sentiment as well. So they fit on a regular 5 1/2 by 4 1/4 size card. And I have that little wishing you the brightest birthday sentiment that I'm using. And I also wanted to show you, see how the background, there's a lot of different layering with all these pieces. But it really is fun to put this together. I like to put a block on my glued down pieces just to give them a firm setting so that before it dries on there. And then I'm going to pop up this sentiment with these foam pieces, find the perfect spot for that. And then I'm going to place this card on top of the brown. Now, before I did that, I was still thinking maybe it needed a little something. It looked just too, I don't know the right word, but I thought, let's do some blue inking around the edges. Normally, if I had planned ahead of time, I would have done the inking first because it's a little hard to do that. And then I also thought with the sponge, I would take it, and I was trying to make a little bit of like a cloud feature, and I think it turned out really good. I really liked that look. Then I also wanted to put these little clear sticky things on here that have a little piece of silver glitter, and I went for an odd number, 3 of those, and I just really like how that turned out. When I'm going to put it on the base of my card, normally I would put the tape on that blue piece, but because I had the little stickers already on there and stuff, I decided to go with the brown first and then place that card front on there. Once I've got all the colors decided for my card, the fun part is cutting out, and then my most favorite part is designing everything, putting it down on paper, making these little hens and putting their little outfits on them. I guess it just reminds me of being younger and doing little paper dolls and stuff like that. But I'm really happy with this card. I'm planning to use it for birthday, and I hope the person who I give it to will love it just as much as I enjoyed putting it together. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. Again, if you're interested in this die, I've got the link to it below, and you can get a discount with my discount code. I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you next time.